Good morning, dear students. Wish you all a very good day. Now we are going to new lesson. Title of the lesson: Helen Keller. Title of the lesson: Helen Keller. Fourth class, ninth lesson. Helen Keller. So Helen Keller, one child, is a girl, disability person, but disability person have lost perfect body. What do you mean perfect body? We have one hand and two eyes, two ears, one nose, two holes, and up and down teeth, one tongue and neck, two legs, body, and two hands, fingers. Perfectly. It was structure of body. Disability there. Somebody have two eyes, but not up here. They can never see anyone in our world. They could not find what is black, what is light, what is red, what is black, red, and their ear sounds only. That's why they are recognizing what is that name of. They have found somebody else appeared, but they could not hear. They could not hear soundless. They are called deaf. Not can they appear blind, and somebody else appeared here, but they could not speak. They could not speak. Anyone, they could not speak. They are expressed to mock language. And somebody else physically lost. Physically lost. One hand, one leg. And organs are correct, but body is not perfect. He could not fit. He could not walk perfectly. So, cannot perfect in our body. It is disability. In our head, there is no appear brain. But brain is not good. We have not thinking good. Not working perfect in our body organs. We don't know about anything doing and anyone speak about. It was mentally disturbed. So, Helen Keller is one of the disabled child. Helen Keller is one of the disabled child. So now let's continue lesson about Helen Keller lesson. Name of the lesson: Helen Keller. Fourth class, ninth lesson. Title of the lesson: Helen Keller. Fourth class. Now I am reading. Please listen. Page number 49. Page number 49. Fourth class. In the year 1880, a famous writer was born in Alabama, a place in America. She was the one who wrote a famous work titled as The Story of My Life. In the year 1880, a famous writer was born in Alabama, a place in America. She was the one who wrote a famous work titled as The Story of My Life. Please remind, the story of my life. Her name was Helen Keller. In a lesson, The Story of My Life, and her name is Helen Keller. When she was 19 months old, Helen Keller was 19 months old. She became very ill, and after her illness, her parents found that she was blind. She was also deaf, and she could not learn to speak because she was not able to hear other people's voice. For 5 years, a little girl lived in a dark and silent world. She was able to feel with her hands, and she now that other people moved their mouths to talk. She moved her mouth too, but she did not know how to speak like other people, and it made her sad. Often she cried and shouted with anger because she could not make people understand her. She had learned everything by feel and touch, but her parents did not know how to touch her. When Helen was nearly 6 years old, her father was told about a teacher called Anna Sullivan. She had learned how to touch blind and deaf children. Then Helen Keller story was a famous writer written by about this Helen Keller. That is the story of my life. Who is the famous writer? His name Alabama. His name Alabama. And it's a story founded at the beginning of 1880. Alabama. So Alabama lived in a place of America. Then she was one who wrote a famous work titled Alabama wrote and worked a famous work. The work title, what is that work title? My Story of My Life. Do you know about your life? You are the hero. Your kingdom, you are the king. But you follow to perfectly good way. Listen good, avoid bad. If you can refuse to bad, you will get it highly. But somebody else, well-known persons, but they could not kindness to disability persons and animals, others. This story describes to us, we don't know about to our strength in itself, because we should not face very small problems. We felt very sad, then while sorrow. It's a very huge problem facing for you. But you can face it any one problem. You can win, but you could not find how to win, how to solve this problem. You do know about the thought, you can reach it because you could not find. So please ignite your mind. Every disability person he has lost only one body in his body, because remaining all parts are working for mighty energy. For example, blind person. Did you have seen any blind persons? Yes, you can see always on the road walking, nears. Somebody is asking, begging. They are asking, please have mercy on us, asking kindly like this. Because he has no appeared anyone, but his mind is very sharpness. He can hear some make sounds. He was find out what is that sound. The sound distance between he and the sound making distance. He was said to us, he was lost to one organ because all parts are continue to working mighty energy. The story of my life, her name was Helen Keller, and the main character, who is that? Helen Keller. Who is that Helen Keller? Is a child. Helen Keller, approximately 19 months old. 19 months old, she was an infant. She was in infancy stage. Only for touch. She founded her mother. 9 months old. Sorry, 19 months. 1 year, 9 months. Is a child baby. Just moving. Make some little sounds. 19 years old baby. Could not walk. Just supporting to climbing to another one. Climb to support to any other chair, bench and bed, some other etc. Climbing to that stage age, supporting another one. Because this 19 months old, she became very ill. At the stage 19 years old, Helen Keller was suffering from healing. So here he means it was a kind of disease, but could not find here what is the disease. She was suffering from one disease at the age of 19 months of old, by suffering by Helen Keller. After her illness, she was continuously illness, suffered 19 months old ill. After that illness, her parents found that she was blind. So approximately Helen Keller parents were found at 2 years. Stage of 2 years. She is blind girl. Helen Keller parents was find about 2. She is the blind, and she was also deaf. Blind, not can see anyone. Deaf, she could not hear anyone's sound. Deaf, and she could not learn to speak because she wasn't able to hear other people's voice. Please, students, observe. Helen Keller, first she was blind in 2 years. Then after, she is also deaf. Another one, she could not speak. She could not speak, deaf and dumb blind. She could not appear. She could not never can see anyone. She could not speak to never anyone. Never can any word, any sentence. Then she could not hear never any sound. 3 kinds of major disease Helen Keller was suffering from the diseases. What is the disease? First blind, second deaf, and third one blind. So could not learn to speak because she was able to her people voice. She could not hear to people voice. She could not speak to any other voice. So it continued to from around the age of 19 months old from to 6 years. For 5 years, the little girl lived in a dark and silent world. She is different from 2 years to 6 years old. Lived dark and silent. Nowadays, students, you did not go out. Please stay at your home in your room. but you feel so sad. You could not speak. Just make you 5 minutes. Don't speak anyone. You can silent. Just 5 minutes. You should not do that. It's possible. Impossible. Sorry. It's impossible. You could not speak 5 minutes just per day. Please talk in yourself. Then she is lived in a dark and silent world. Could not speak. Could not see anyone. It's a dark and silent world. Lived like 6 years, approximately from 2 years to 6 years. So 4 years she has lived in dark and silent world. She was able to feel with her hands, and she know that others people move their mouth and talk. She was expressed to move to mouth and hands. She moved her mouth too, but she did not know how to speak like others people, and it made her sad. She was asking questions, but in front of who can say answer, she could not understand, unable to answer. So, speak like others people, it made her sad. Very often, she cried and shouted with anger because she could not make people understand her. Anybody could not understand about himself because she had feel very and sometimes very cried and shouted with anger because she could not make people understand her. She had learned everything by fear. She is understanding. How could understand she was Helen Keller? Helen Keller was learned everything. Everything learned by its feel. The feel is touch it. She was touching anything. She's understanding about this is chair. This is table, this is glass, this is bag. So it was feel, touch it, and after that, what is that? She was recognized. But her parents did not know how to touch her. The parents did not know how to touch it. So when Helen was nearly 6 years old, her father was told about a teacher called Anna Sullivan. Helen Keller's father was told to his teacher about her daughter Helen Keller defects and demerits, is suffering from diseases. She's different kind of human beings. She has no ear sound, no sing any picture. She has never can say any one word because these major diseases she is suffering from about to told his teacher. The teacher name is Anna Sullivan. She had learned how to touch blind and deaf children. She had learned how to teach blind and deaf children. She know about to already she had learned. She had teach to how to blind persons are recognize what is that, what is really understanding. Then deaf children also. She is the teaching to this kind of defect persons. The teacher name is Anna Sullivan. Helen Keller's father was told to about her daughter to a teacher. Thank you, students. Remaining class due to continue next class.